Greetings, folks. We've got another Railroader video today. The developers snuck out a pretty substantial update. I mean, there was no complete shock. But yeah, there's a new update for Railroader. This is 4.0, the wear and tear update. But one of the big things you'll note is this right here in the middle. New chuff sounds, UI refresh, and the wear and tear bits. So there's quite a bit of other stuff going on as well. They tweaked the passenger reputation thing a bit. They added some new UI to the map so you can see where switches are aligned. A whole absolute slew of other things. That's an older one there. I will link this down below if you want to go and take a look at it for yourself. If you're not in the Discord, I would recommend you hop in their Discord if you'd like to stay abreast of such things and situations. But I want to know what these sounds are like, so I fired the game up, and we're going to go check it out. Okie McDokie. We are in a sandbox map, so I haven't made a video for this in quite a while. If some of you may have been following my series, I've completed pretty much the entire map, obtained every job there is to obtain, leaving some of the smaller ones on the wayside. But there's a lot going on since I last played, just a lot of stuff in the way. So I just loaded the sandbox up just to take a quick peek without having to mess with too much stuff in the career save. And we're just going to take a look at it here. So we got a 280, a venerable Connie, and we're on the other side, or the west side of the map right now, coming from what is it, Andrews? I have forgotten already. Yeah, we're currently at Roto. Yeah, so we're coming from Andrews, and we've got a substantial grade up ahead, but there are new chuff sounds. So those of you that have been playing, I'm sure you can remember the original chuff sounds. They weren't horrible, not by any stretch. I felt like they were fairly loud and girthy. But yeah, I don't know what to expect. I have not touched this yet at all. So I got a 42 car train, bunch of empties, almost 1,200 ton. Let's go ahead and click on it. Just double check, make sure, select. We are selected. One of the big things you can see right off the bat on the bottom left is the new and updated HUD. So it largely looks the same. It's just a little bit more spicy, I guess you can say. Forwards and backwards is as it was before, as the train brake and throttle as well. But we'll hop in. One of the other big things they did in this what the hell? Dude is doing the two-step boogie. And we're out of the cab. Is they updated the boiler pressure. So it should, what the hell? It should have, that is odd. I don't know if that's a me thing or a game thing, or we'll try this one. Well, that is weird as hell. So the fireman's side, we're gravy. We go over here, and the guy is being spastic. So boiler pressure should work and be animated as before. I guess it was not. I just noticed it says locomotive works somewhere state. Haha. That's interesting. So we do have a fire. We should have plenty of coal and water back here. We got about half. Yeah, 5.8 ton and 4,000 gallons. Let's just hop in this thing and see what she sound like. Actually, I'm going to go outside. I don't know what's going on with my character in the seat there. We'll just, no, it's probably best to do it like this, actually. Yeah, so we will attach ourselves to the locomotive. And let's just listen. Now, I'll leave the cocks off. I want to hear it all. All right, and I'll bring the reverser down just so she's got to work a little bit more. Yeah, let's just get after it here. That definitely sounds more realistic. It really seems to have that extreme pressurized steam sound leaving a tube. There is a bit of like a weird echo, like a reverb. But let's see how she handles the transitions here. Wide open. All right, we'll drop the reverser back in a moment. It's a pretty significant grade right here, or it starts to be. Yeah, it's 1.1. Man, that sounds pretty damn good. That is totally different. It is an authentic sound. It's like you're there next to an old ass steam engine. You know, minus all the steam leaks and things like that. The little nuanced sounds still aren't there. Alright, so this is a 2.3% grade. Probably not the best idea to try and hear this thing at speed, because I want to hear this thing boogieing like 40 plus mile an hour. And I don't think we're going to get it done with this. So I'm going to go back real quick and grab the passenger train that was sitting there, because that's going to be downhill into Andrews pretty much. And we'll haul some ass in that, see what it sounds like. Okay, then I may or may not have derailed the previous train that we had sitting here. So we're closer to Andrews now in a Santa Fe with a 13 car consist, just under 1,000 ton. And we're closer to Andrews. And there's a couple of really wide open spots right here. So we're going to crack this thing open for reals this time and do a flyby and see what she sounds like. All right, here we go. Building up to it. Throttle's cracked wide open. Bring the reverser back towards us. It's a very light train and a fairly powerful engine. Get a little bit closer. Like the sound is there. I do like the sound, but I feel like the old sound was a bit thicker. Just overall louder. Like, I love the way this sounds. I don't love that those cars have also derailed behind it. But the sound is good. I just wish there was more depth to it, more breadth. Yeah, just louder. Holy hell, that thing is charred. Alright, so upon a bit more, a further investigation, the patch notes claim that the chuff is completely rebuilt and matches the speed of the engine, even changes with the cutoff reverser setting, as well as between engines. So apparently there are different engine sounds. They also go to note that they plan to further develop this in the future. So it says farewell to the awkward transition around 11 miles an hour. Yeah, so it went from like the starting out chuff to like a mid or high speed chuff. So this is a lot smoother. So we tried the Connie and the the big Pacific. So we got the G25 Mogul here. We'll see what this sounds like and just see if they all sound any different. I'll try and keep the same consist, just a random consist empty, 818 tons, almost 30 cars. But let's just see how it is. So it is different as well depending on the cutoff. So we'll go ahead and select on that. And hell, we'll go forward first. So that's all the way forward. Now this sucker ain't dipped. That's the dead engine. Didn't mean to do that. This sucker ain't too powerful, so this should be interesting. Oh, that does sound different. Sounds a little bit more thin. A little wispier. And this thing's having to do some work for real. Yeah, I mean, it sure enough does, the sound does match the puff, the chuffy puff. Alright, so mental note, that is the G25 Moog. Let's try something a little bit bigger. Alright, now we're in one of my absolute favorites in the game and IRL skis, the Mikado. Let's go in reverse here this time, see how this one is. See if it's any different. I honestly can't tell. It sounds pretty samey to me. Maybe it's got a bit more depth. Not as thin as the Mogul. I'll tell you what though, sitting here listening to it, the transition is really, really damn clean. Alright, let's try and just back off the throttle a hair. Almost like a coasting, or just a cruising at a certain power notch or level, position, quadrant, and no throttle. See, that's the one thing I would really very much like is some sort of like, you know, chatter, rod chatter, clanking, something like that. The metal clanking, groaning, popping, clicking. There's, you know, it wasn't in here before, but in addition to these new awesome chuff sounds, that would be nice. All right, so that was the Mikado. Let's try something else. All right, now we got the what is it, T22? I think it's T22 10-wheeler. Yeah, T22 this is the new one, isn't it? We'll try this, see if it's any different. So just wide open, because that's obviously how you would operate a steam locomotive. I don't know, did I misread that patch note? That kind of still sounds the same. It says it even changes with the cutoff reverser setting as well as between engines. Huh. I mean, because even this this little 10-wheeler sounds pretty chonk. It sounded like that big Pacific. Whoop. Man, that does sound good though. The at speed, the running speed sound of the chuff. But yeah, I don't. Maybe my ears just not attuned, but I'm not super convinced about what sounds different. Let's go ahead and get rid of this one and get something else. We'll get like a small boy and see if that's any different. All right, so we got the OG. What is it? T17 10-wheeler. So this is like the thing that you start with, and effectively probably the weakest thing in the game, right? So let's go forward. And she's a little weak sauce, so we'll cut some of these cars off here. Like, just we'll do it right here. Right. Throw that handbrake on for a good measure. And did I throw that one on? Yes, I did. All right, so let's hop on this and see if it sounds any different. Reverse, wide open. Man, I don't know if I'm losing it, but I feel like this one does sound a little different. It sounds a little bit better, honestly. Let's go back forward. Just redo. Man, I just do not know. Honestly, I cannot tell. If it is different, it's got to be a minuscule amount, unless I'm just not picking the right engines. Maybe there's only a couple of engines that are really different, noticeable. I'm hoping the Burke, for starters, is going to sound, you know, very large and in charge and different. So I guess we'll do that next. All right, here's old fatty fat and stuff, the Burke. Let's get back on the consist. Already hear some chuff. So it does sound a bit different, and I think I'm figuring out the trend here. It just seems to have a bit more depth to the chuff sound. Like the spectrum is more broad of the overall sound. That definitely sounds deeper. Yeah, that is way deeper. Yeah. That is way deeper. Okay, so there are some subtleties between engines. I'm assuming it's going to be like a small, medium, and large engine kind of thing. You know, they could all be different. You know, 1-to-1. Who knows? This is definitely, you know, sounds heavier. Oh yeah. Yeah, because some of the smaller engines we tried out, you know, just sounded more papery, more thin. That is way different. Yeah. Yep. All right, hell yeah. So the sounds are new. The transition of speeds and reverser settings are very good, very smooth, and the difference overall. Anywho, moving on. So another cool thing about this update is the switches. So you can now see the switches on the map. So we're currently sat right here upon this switch, right? You can see now clear as day that it's lined through and not into the siding. We'll go ahead and pop that. And there you have it on the map. It's clear that it's misaligned. So that will very much help you if you've got a lot of AI trains running around the map. If you're at speed, you know, don't want to have to stop or e-brake it, that kind of thing. This is very helpful. I do very, very much like that. And it looks just nice and clean as well. I do kind of wish overall the map was a bit bigger, and I know you can change the UI scale. That's not exactly what I'm talking about. Just the overall, whatever these are, the graphics, you know, the line and how the signals look. I just wish these things were a bit larger. Kind of like how the speed limits, you know, you can see those pretty plainly and large. Just kind of a bit larger because, you know, when you're zoomed out, it's just very thin, and then, you know, even so when you zoom in a bit. So if they were just a bit bigger, that would be nice. You know, it's not the end of the world, obviously, just would be nice. A few other things worth noting is they added an additional repair track on the back of Bryson here, as well as, what else did they do? Oh, they did something with Whittier Sawmill. Let's go down to Whittier. East Whittier. Let the map load in. So now, let me pop the notes open again. So it says, so now Whittier Sawmill takes gondola cars for wood chip export. So that's a new thing. You still got to bring logs in, but gondola cars will, you know, they'll ship out wood chips now. Which is pretty neat. Also says AI engineer now resumes track speed after passing, restricting, or approach. That was a big pain in the ass before, because if it went past a restricting, it was like 15 or 20, and you're like, where the heck's that AI train? It's been doing 15 mile an hour for the last hour. It's taken a while. It also notes that cars loaded by off railroad industries such as coal, diesel fuel, repair parts, things like that, now take cars away while they are being filled. So cars are returned after 24 hours have passed. Let's see, what else? Additionally, some passenger stuff has been reworked as well. So it said they made a couple of changes to how your passenger reputation is calculated. Now it says, for those with existing saves, note these changes will result in Railroader forgetting any passenger stops you've made that day prior to upgrading. So you will miss out on those again, but it's not a big deal. 1 or 2 days and, you know, you're back head above water. But it says now your passenger network reputation now only includes stations which have been served in the past 10 days. This means that if you don't want to provide passenger service for a particular section of the map or the railroad, you can simply never serve it and not be harmed. So that's pretty neat. I like that. So if you don't want to stop at a particular station or go down the Alarka branch, for example, it will not reflect. It also says, additionally, equipment condition no longer affects passenger fares. Instead, it drives a new passenger equipment reputation score. Okay, so that's interesting. And the wear and tear thing is going to be a bit hard to show off. You're just going to have to play for a while to see that in action. But generally, stuff can go bad, right? What happened before is, you know, you did a hard couple or something like that, went around a turn too fast, and, you know, you'd be dragging axles in the dirt. And it would wear, you know, the locomotive or the train car down. Now it's an every mile can kind of wear the equipment down kind of thing, and you have to keep it up to date. So it also notes, just depending on how you operate said equipment, if you're just balls to the wall going crazy, like I generally am, guilty as charged, that it's just going to wear the equipment down even quicker. So if you're a bit nicer to it, you know, opening up the throttle a bit, going a little slower around curves, things like that, it'll probably last a lot longer. But what's neat about it is the stuff that you own, you got to keep it updated. So there's now, you know, a reason to visit the Roundhouse, you know, here in Dillsboro, and hire staff. Like, you know, in my save, this isn't my save again, this is a sandbox. I generally keep 2 or 3 people on at the Roundhouse just for those accidents that are certain to happen. You can throw them in there and they get working right away. So I would highly, highly recommend that. Just go ahead and, you know, put a couple of people to work at the Roundhouses just in case. But it shows the condition still. And service miles. So again, this is in the sandbox, so it's currently just saying 0 miles because I have not operated this thing any mileage at all. It says last overhaul never. Now I am kind of intrigued, interest piqued, if you will, on what this actually means. I want to see what my actual save file stuff looks like. So I'm going to hop in my save file real quick and try to find one of my older engines that have a lot of miles and see if it's already accounted for or if it's just since this new patch. All right, so I'm currently in my save file, and this is number 28. This is my probably 4th engine ever in this company or career mode, and I've beat the crap out of it. It should have a lot of miles, so let's go ahead and click on it. We'll bring this up. So it says condition 81%, although it looks a lot worse. Service miles 0. So this is a new thing that will start rolling over after this patch, I would imagine, because there's got to be several hundred miles on this thing. At least, I would imagine at least like 200 or 300. I mean, I've got quite a few engines all over the map, but this thing has made the trip from Andrews, you know, back to Silva several times. Also noticing some T-posing with the dude in the cab. I was like jittering around earlier sitting in the seat. Let's try that again, see what's going on. Still T-posing. I don't remember if that's normal. He should be sitting. Maybe I'm not in the sitting position. There we go. Now I'm sitting. And I also noticed that it's not doing that jittery thing anymore, so that was very odd. But anyway, guys, just a quick peek at this very thick update, namely the new chuff sounds. That is very, very rad. And then the wear and tear stuff as well, so it's just an extra thing you got to keep an eye on your railroad. I'll post the patch notes down below if you want to go and take a look at each and everything. I recommend you do. But Railroader keeps on getting better. Small team, but they do a hell of a lot of good work. I've been slacking on the RRer lately. I got to get back into it. A lot of things have been going on, and that we will do in due time, of course. But that's it, guys. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye.